Have you ever wondered what would happen if a passenger was denied boarding in first class, only for that passenger to be someone powerful enough to bring down the entire airline with a single phone call? This is the story of Simone Ellis, a black female CEO who not only claimed justice for herself but shook the global aviation industry to its core. Simone Ellis is not easily shaken. Born in a working-class neighborhood in Southside Chicago, where success was a luxury few could afford, she learned early how to survive adversity. By 16, she had taught herself coding on an old pawnshop computer. While her peers played games, Simone fixed computers for local nail salons and corner stores to help her mother pay rent. Those efforts earned her a scholarship to Northwestern, where she juggled 2 jobs just to stay afloat. Battling bias and discrimination, Simone climbed her way to the top of the tech industry. She founded Nexus Innovations from a 1-bedroom apartment. 15 years later, Nexus is a global powerhouse with over 5,000 employees and annual revenues exceeding $1.2 billion. Yet, success never changed her. Simone remained humble, low profile, and always traveled for business alone. That morning at LaGuardia Airport, Simone was preparing to fly to Singapore to close a $500 million deal. Dressed sharply in tailored black trousers, a silk blouse, and handcrafted leather shoes, she approached the first-class check-in counter, only to be pointed toward the economy section. "That area's for economy passengers, ma'am," the agent said dismissively. Simone politely showed her e-ticket, but the disdainful look in their eyes didn't fade. At security, she was randomly selected for additional screening. While white businessmen walked through undisturbed, a male TSA officer touched her more than necessary. When the inspection was over, her $60 Patek Philippe watch, a gift to herself when Nexus went public, had mysteriously vanished. It took 15 minutes of heated protest before the watch suddenly reappeared in another tray. At gate 37B, she was stopped again. "This ticket seems off. We need to verify it." A supervisor named Richard and an employee named Meredith scrutinized her ticket like it was counterfeit. They demanded her passport, corporate credit card, and even a travel expense authorization letter, requirements imposed on no other passengers. When she asked to view the seating chart for the next flight, Richard refused. It wasn't until Simone firmly identified herself as a CEO that he awkwardly showed her the screen, 3 first-class seats clearly available. "Those are reserved for operational reasons," he muttered. "Not operational," Simone replied. "Racial." Richard called security. One of the guards grabbed her arm roughly. Her documents and phone hit the floor. As she bent to retrieve them, her eyes locked with a man across the terminal, Bradley Winters, CEO of SkyGlobe Airlines. Arms crossed, he muttered under his breath. "Some people don't know their place." Simone's phone rang. It was Marcus Chen, Nexus's chief strategy officer. "Simone, the Singapore Investment Fund is finalizing the airline for the $3.7 billion contract. They're waiting on your recommendation." Simone calmly replied. "Remove SkyGlobe from consideration. Recommend Singapore Airlines." But that phone call was only the beginning. Marcus added, "Shareholders are nervous. Rumors say we're about to divest." The truth? Through a private equity firm. Simone held 28% of SkyGlobe's stock, more than the Winters family itself. One move, and the stock could plummet. "Execute Delta Protocol," she ordered, a plan years in the making, reserved for instances where racial bias threatened the dignity and operations of Nexus. Within minutes, airport digital boards went dark. SkyGlobe's stock nosedived. Breaking news spread. Major shareholder moves against SkyGlobe following discrimination allegations. As the media swarmed gate 37B, Simone stepped onto a chair and spoke clearly. "My name is Simone Ellis, CEO of Nexus, holder of 28% of SkyGlobe's shares. I wasn't just denied a seat. I was denied humanity." Voices rose from the crowd. A black woman recalled being searched every time she flew. An Asian man shared how he was moved because a white passenger didn't want to sit beside him. Their stories turned gate 37B into a global flashpoint. Bradley Winters emerged, apologizing on camera, promising compensation, and offering a private jet to Singapore. Simone replied, "I don't need your plane. You built this culture of exclusion. This is the consequence." A board meeting was held right there in the airport. Simone and her legal team presented receipts, emails, reports, witness statements, photos. Bradley broke into a sweat, hyperventilated, and collapsed in a panic attack. Sky Globe soon suspended all operations. Their stock crashed. The CEO was placed on leave. An independent commission was formed to overhaul the company. Simone refused a buyout but agreed to share reform materials. A week later, the event was dubbed the Sky Globe Reckoning. 3 months later, the U.S. Department of Transportation released new rules requiring all airlines to report customer service data by race. Major carriers like United, Delta, and American Airlines launched immediate bias training and monitoring programs. Gate 37B at LaGuardia was redesigned, now a symbol of reform. With multicultural art, prayer spaces, and multilingual signage, 6 months later, Sky Globe resumed operations under a new leadership team and policy framework. The first flight from New York to Singapore? Piloted by a Latina captain. The head flight attendant? A former employee once discriminated against, now back in a fairer system. As for Bradley Winters, he resigned, devoting the rest of his life to minority community charities. From one denied boarding, a woman changed an entire industry. Simone Ellis's story isn't just about reclaiming a seat in first class, it's about reclaiming justice. And if you're asking, did this really happen? Legal experts and industry analysts confirm. These events laid the groundwork for the most sweeping reforms in U.S. commercial aviation history. Perhaps the most powerful statement came from a civil rights lawyer at a summit afterward. Sometimes, you don't need an entire law. You just need one person to stand tall where they were told to bow. Will that person be you?